fast asleep in Cyprus at 6:15 in the morning. The phone rang, and it was Steve Cassidy of CNN. He said, "Get to Kuwait City, Saddam's just invaded." I said, "Oh my goodness, how am I going to do that?" He said, "Just get there." Well, I phoned up Arab Wings, my favorite charter company at Jordan. They'd already hired out all their planes, had gone, so I thought, well, what about Cyprus Airways? And I phoned up Cyprus Airways and I said, "Do you have a plane going to Kuwait?" And they said, "No, the airport's closed and we're definitely not flying there." And I said, "Well, can I charter a plane?" And they said, "What, the whole plane?" I said, "Yeah, what's your smallest one?" And they said, "It's a Buck 111, about a 99-seater. And I said, "How much will that cost?" And they said, "Well, let me come back to you." They came back to me and it was going to cost about $137,000 to rent this plane to take us to Kuwait. So I called up the news desks and they'd arranged with other news desks to share the cost, and about an hour later we were down at Larnaca Airport with all our boxes, jumped on the plane, and there were 9 dusty journalists and a whole bunch of boxes, and we headed off towards the Gulf thinking we were going to land in Kuwait. Well, clearly, you know, the airport was under fire and the runway had been bombed and nobody knew what was going on, so we diverted and landed in Cairo and did our lunchtime report from Cairo, which was amazing. We got all our pictures out and then we took off again just before sunset, and we were flying into, hopefully we were going to land in maybe Doha or somewhere close to Kuwait, and nobody wanted us to land. Any Sakhafi, which is journalists in Arabic, were now suddenly persona non grata by the Arab world. They were terrified what was going on and they didn't want any journalists. The only place we could land was this small little, well, it was almost a village, it's called Dubai. And they had 3 hotels, the airport hotel, the Hilton and the Intercontinental, and 1 runway and a few little sort of shops and a creek. Now we landed in Dubai and we stayed at the airport hotel, which was the closest one. Quickly did our piece to camera reporting live from the Gulf, went off to the local TV station, and Dr. Abdullah Aziz, who was the guy in charge of control of the media, he would have to vet any stories that went out. He was the person who would restrict anything that they didn't want to be said. And he said, "You can't say Dubai. You can tell your whole report, but at the end you just have to say that in the Middle East. You can't say the word Dubai." Oh my God, we were running out of time, so we rushed downstairs, stood underneath a palm tree, got the lights up. Michael Macmillan, who was our correspondent, did a one-take perfect story, and we ran up to go and put it into the machine. And at this stage it was 1 minute to 9 in London, and the 9 o'clock news was about to go out, and we didn't have time to send the pictures all the way to Goonhilly to be recorded and played back. So the BBC said, "We're going to go live with your story." So when I say push the button, the play button, you're going straight into the 9 o'clock news. So Michael Burke, my old correspondent from South Africa, was reading the news and said, "We now go over live to Dubai, where we've got the first story out of the Middle East after Kuwait's been invaded."